and welcome to Matt's Mission Marine, your home for his take on boats, waterways, and interesting conversations with the boating community along the way. Today we're turning the tables a bit on Matt. Today, I, his co-captain, is going to interview him so that you guys can learn a little bit more about why Matt wants to do this channel and a little bit about Matt himself. Strap on your life vests. Let's get going. Hey, Matt. So, would you mind for the audience here just introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name's Matt. I'm the owner of Matt's Mission Marine. You guys have seen me a lot on film.
Okay, so where'd you grow up?
Just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Great. So, what made you want to start this channel?
Well, I guess it goes back to last year when I had my first baby and I had a lot of time off, and I was watching a lot of YouTube and saw some people doing some different things, but I couldn't really find a channel that kind of broke down being outside around the water and on the water at a novice level. And I really just wanted to, explore the waterways around central North Carolina, around the coast, up and down the eastern seaboard, and just bring those experiences to you guys and talk about, different waterways, fishing, dock and dine, different restaurants you can pull up and dock at and get something good to eat at.
Great. So, clearly, you love the water.
Yes.
Is this something that started in your childhood, maybe?
Yep. If you go back to one of our earlier missions, you'll see one I did with my dad, and he talked a lot about that, about how I was on the water at a very early age, mainly doing water sports, water skiing. By the time I could walk, pretty much they had me on water skis. My brother is a captain. He gets out and does a lot of fishing, and my dad and my grandfather both love fishing a lot, and so it's kind of in my genes. I love to fish. Don't do a lot of it, but I love to do it when I can.
Your grandma too, if I recall.
Yes, grandmother as well. Several stories of her pier fishing that come to mind.
So you talked about some water sports, even lake jumping?
Yeah, tried to jump a lake one time. That's a funny story. Probably about, I don't know how old I was. Wasn't long after I got my first bicycle, and we were camping up at Carl Lake, and my parents loved to tell the story because they said I did some warm-up laps and I kept building up speed on my bike going around the campsite. Next thing they know, they heard a whoa, and I had tried to jump across the lake on my bike and landed and had my bike buried in the bottom of the lake up to its handlebars.
Share some of your memories of being on the water as a kid. You mentioned Carl Lake.
Yeah. So I guess the first memories I have are my dad used to work. He worked local. We'd get out of school and around 2-3 o'clock or something like that. Dad would get home from work around 5:30. He would have loaded the boat up the night before, and we'd go to the local lake, Lake Wheeler, right in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was only about maybe 3 miles from our house, and we'd go out there and water ski and tube and fish and until the sun went down. They kicked us off the lake. Other than that, experiences being on the water growing up were at Carl Lake. We spent a lot of weekends up there camping, and then probably some of the bigger experiences we had was camping down in Myrtle Beach. We used to love to go down to North Myrtle Beach, big campground down there, and we'd camp and spend a lot of time in the water down there and on the beach.
Well, tell us a little bit more about water skiing. So how did you learn? How old were you? Trials and tribulations?
So I probably started somewhere around the age of 4 or 5, water skiing. We had these skis. They were trainer skis for kids, and they were tied together at the bottom. And the rope you held on to was tied to the water skis, and the water skis were tied to the boat. So literally, like, Dad would be in the water, and he would lift us up when the boat took off, and all I had to do was hang on. That was kind of my first experience water skiing. And then once I got a little bit older, I learned how to water ski without the training skis, and I would ski on 2 skis, but I would see my mom and dad and my older brother skiing on 1 ski, and so I was determined to do that. And I think probably about the second summer of me water skiing, I was up on just one ski, water skiing.
Is there a special term for skiing on 1 ski?
Yeah, slalom.
Slalom skiing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Is that really hard, or is it about the same? Would you compare it to skiing on snow? What's the difference?
I mean, there's not a big difference, I guess, between water skiing and snow skiing. I mean, if you're on 2 skis like you are when you're on the snow and you're on the water, it's pretty much the same. You got to have a lot of leg strength to keep your legs from spreading out and going apart. The biggest difference is instead of having a rope to hold on to, you got poles you hold on to on the snow, so you can kind of guide yourself with the poles. Obviously, you don't ski down snow on 1 ski, but you could do it on a snowboard, which is completely different than trying to slalom ski. I mean, it's just 2 completely different philosophies and ways you go about it. I'm actually not very good at snowboarding, but I can water ski on 1 ski all day long.
Now, you talked a lot about in your childhood, you had a lot of local travels that you'd go out to get on the water. But having some insider information, I know that you've also gotten to travel outside of the country and outside of the state a good bit in your day. What are some of the most memorable either fishing or water-related adventures that you've had outside of the Carolinas?
So I've been to Key West about 6 times. Love going down there. We usually concentrate on fishing down there because the fishing's so awesome. Done some snorkeling and some diving and diving for lobsters. I've gotten into that kind of recently. But as far as like when I was younger, did a lot of cruises. We've been all around the Caribbean. But memories that really come to mind is I went to Jamaica one time in my 20s, and I actually skied off the coast of Jamaica. So water skiing off the coast of Jamaica, that's pretty high up there. And then, what was it, 2 years ago, we went to Costa Rica and was able to go out fishing there in the Pacific and watched my nephew catch a sailfish. That was pretty awesome. And my dad caught a rooster fish from that trip, so that was some really great times right there. When we're out deep sea fishing off the coast of Costa Rica and went out for a sailfish, came across some dolphins, and it was the most dolphin I've ever seen in my life. It was hundreds of them. I was able to go up in the rooster's nest of the head boat that we were on, and was able to help spot fish and dolphin and sea turtles and all kinds of stuff with the captain, and that was a great experience as well. And we actually, some of our party on that trip got to go swimming with the dolphin out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so that was some great experiences.
All of your memories combined, what's your most memorable catch?
I mean, besides you?
Lame. One with gills.
Man, I don't know. My most memorable fishing experience, and probably my best fishing experience, was with my brother out in Charleston. We got into some red drum. We didn't have a whole lot of time that day to fish. I mean, literally had like less than an hour. But we went out, immediately got on a red drum, and I pulled in 8 red drum between 25 and 30 inches long in 20 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, it was just one after the other. I mean, we got pictures of me fighting a fish and having both reels off the back, both rods, bent over with fish hooked up on them.
That's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
There's something really exciting happening in your world right now. We're shopping for a boat.
Yes, we're going to bring a boat to the channel. I'm really excited about that. I got some videos coming up pretty soon of us out shopping for a boat for the channel. Specifically for our family and our needs. We have 2 girls in the boat, so having a head on the boat's really important. We're going to probably do more exploring than anything, water sports. I'm going to do some fishing off of it, so need something for the whole family, and we feel like a dual console is the perfect boat for us, something in the 20 to 23 foot range. And All I can say about that is more to come.
Unfortunately, there's reality and a budget to be had for this boat,
Yeah.
but pretend there is none.
Okay.
What is your ideal dream boat that if you had a blank check, you would go out tomorrow and pick out?
That's tough. Got a blank check. Well, you know what? I don't want anything really big. I want something I can manage by myself. You know, I'd like to be able to captain it by myself and, you know, take it out by myself if I wanted to. I'd probably say some kind of dual console.
Not center console?
Probably not center console, no. No, I'd probably stick to a dual console, but if I went big enough, so something around a 26-foot twin engine, I tell you what, Scout makes a nice boat. Boston Whaler, the Vantage, that's a really nice boat. I like those a lot. And they're manageable enough that you could go out, no problem, and be able to captain it and run it by yourself, and that's probably what I would like to stick to.
So what's your dream location by the water on this whole dreaming that you want to visit?
That I want to visit or
That
wanna
you've
live
never
at?
been. If you're going to visit anywhere in the world, unlimited budget,
Unlimited
by the
budget,
water.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Hawaii, yeah. If I had an unlimited budget, I could go and live on the water in Hawaii and own my own boat out there. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take me right.
maybe.
Oh.
Of course.
Okay, now. Okay, talking about a boat. I know you've had a lot of experience in your day towing with
Yes.
different vehicles.
Yes.
Can you share a bit about the towing vehicles you've had over the years and maybe like the good things and the bad things
Sure.
that you experienced with some of them that you could advise somebody
Sure.
who maybe has never towed
Okay.
a boat before or what have you?
Um,
I know you could talk forever on this subject, but
I'll try to keep it short. I'm gonna
Okay.
start at the beginning though. So how I learned how to drive a vehicle with a boat behind it and how to back it up, which is one of the hardest things to learn how to do. I was forced to. I mean, my dad had I think it was a 1977 Buick LeSabre 4-door. I mean, it was a land yacht. I mean, it was as big, if not bigger, than the boat we had at the time, which my dad still has. Is it's about a 17.5-foot Thunderbird. And we used to have to haul that Thunderbird around with that land yacht, and we had a driveway that was really steep, 2 big ditches on either side that we had to back it down and in between, and just, you know, backing that boat with that car down that driveway really was what got me used to it, and how to make sure I turned the steering wheel the right direction and things like that.
I'd imagine everything else seemed pretty easy after that.
After that's pretty easy. I'd say the best tow vehicle I've ever had was, you know, I'll just blanket cover it and say any kind of full-size pickup truck. We have a Jeep now, Grand Cherokee. It does really well towing. One of the things I really like about it is it's got the self-leveling suspension, so you never have it loaded down in the back. It always levels itself out, and that's really nice. And you know, the Jeep's kind of a shorter wheelbase. It's not real big, not real wide, and so it's easy to maneuver a boat with. So I love hauling things with the Jeep Grand Cherokee. But you know, if I had to say ultimate vehicle, I mean that I've had would be a Nissan Titan, just a full-size truck that had plenty of power, tow anything I needed to tow with it. I've not only towed boats. I had a camper one time, had a 35-foot camper, towed it with my Nissan, and pretty much maxed out the Nissan with that. I mean, that camper was like 9,000 pounds, but it towed it just fine, and I never really had any issues backing it up as long as I had someone spotting me.
Say I go tomorrow, I'm buying a boat, and I need to get the perfect vehicle to tow my boat. I'm just a normal boat, not
Okay.
anything ginormous.
Yeah. All right, so you got your normal boat. Let's just say it weighs, you know, fully loaded boat, trailer, everything. Let's just say it weighs about 5,000 pounds. I mean, that's
Okay.
pretty average. I mean, a lot of them are smaller than that, a lot of them are larger than that. That's pretty average weight.
All right.
You want to make sure you got a vehicle that, when you look at the towing capacity, which is going to be in the owner's manual, or when you're buying it, you should be able to ask your salesperson. They should be able to tell you the towing capacity. Just make sure you get something that has a tow rating that's well within that range. You know, if you go out and you buy a full-size truck and the towing capacity on it, say 9,000 pounds, I wouldn't try to haul 9,000 pounds with it. But if your boat weighs 5,000, your truck's total capacity is 9,000 pounds, and you're not going to have any issues. It's going to be really smooth and safe, and so just make sure you got something that can tow more weight than what you're towing.
Right, because you might be packing it up with stuff, or it may have a full tank of gas, which weighs some, so you've got to account for anything extra.
You got to account for the extra weight you're putting in it. Not only that, but once you get a vehicle that has a lot more towing capacity than what you're towing, the brakes are going to be more than efficient, the transmission's be well built, it's going to have a good motor in it, and should be able to tow it just fine.
So, is there anything else that you want to share with your channel audience today about yourself or just in general?
So, I guess I just want to share a little bit about our channel and what we're doing. Obviously, it's called Matt's Mission Marine. We're all about reviewing some boats, different waterways, the ocean, intercoastal waterway, rivers, lakes, just any kind of body of water that we want to get out on and have fun on. It's the main thing. We want to have fun. Having great conversations with people along the way. So we're a family channel. We enjoy going out. Me, the co-captain, our first mate, Riley, our kid, 9 months old. But that's our first mate right now. And then obviously I got my best friend with me, Shelby, my dog. Love going out and having her by the water with me as well.
Well, thank you, Matt, for answering all of these questions for our channel audience. We've got a lot of fun things ahead for 2021 planned out. You may not see much of me as an interviewer throughout this process. I'll leave that to Matt. But know that I will be there behind the scenes, right?
Every step of the way. Subscribe, like, ring the bell so you don't miss our content. It's going to be some really good stuff, especially around purchasing our boat this year. Got that coming at you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, you heard it from Matt. You got a little bit of background to know who's the guy behind the channel. And as he said, don't forget to subscribe, maybe like our videos and our content that we've worked so hard on, and ring the bell. Don't forget, you want to ring that bell to get the notifications for when we have new fun stuff for you to check out. We'll see you out on the water.